Hey everybody, welcome back to Live. I'm your host Nick Taylor, and today I'm hanging out with my friend Shruti Kapoor. Shruti, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Nick. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I feel like a bunch of people know you, but it's always good to just kind of say like if people don't know who you are, I guess give a little TLDR of who is Shruti, aka Wonder Woman.
AKA Wonder Woman. Ooh, I love that. Nobody has said that to me before. Yes. Success. Hello, everyone. My name is Shruti Kapoor, and my formal introduction is I am your favorite developer, entertainer, and content creator. um,
Awesome.
so now I'm a full-time content creator. I started off as a front-end engineer in the industry, been working at companies, small and large, some of them including Slack and PayPal, for the last 11 years, and finally decided it's time to quit my stable 9 to 5 to go
Okay.
in. To go find my fun and passion in content creation. So now I don't work 9 to 5. I work 9 to 9 around the clock. Every time I'm awake, I'm working.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess first off, congrats. But I guess if you, I'm curious to dig into that. So like, I still work full time. I'm currently a developer advocate now, but I still very much an engineer at heart. Um, I feel like that's a big leap, just diving into content creation. And so I guess a couple things. Like I've been definitely checking out your streams, and I saw your recent fireside chat with Jack Harrington, which was great. Uh, Jack's great too. I got to do a live stream with him on the CFE dev channel. I have like a channel over there, and yeah, he seems like good people. I don't really know him well, but yeah, I guess what was the reason to go full-time content creation? Because I know other like coworkers of mine have done this. So like Langsdorf, I used to work with him at Netlify. He was running Learn with Jason, but now it's Code TV, and he went like full time on that.
Mhm.
Which I guess I'm curious what kind of brought you to that decision? Were you like burnt out or just bored, or honestly just generally curious?
Yeah, I think I get that question a lot. And honestly, going from like a very stable, high paying 9 to 5 job to being on your own in content creation world, where honestly, when I started, I was like 800 subscribers at the time when I started. So it is a
Yeah,
big leap for sure. I think people have known me or speaking at conference stages, just overall in the community, people know me. But otherwise, on YouTube world, I was a pretty small creator. I was just
yeah.
getting started. I wasn't monetized, so I was like, let's leave everything and become a content creator. And we're not gonna earn any money, but that's okay. Um, so that was a scary move, and I think the reason that I did this is because honestly, I felt like it was a long time coming.
Okay,
I I think when we spoke at RemixConf, like when you and I spoke at RemixConf together, I think I had probably mentioned that I was thinking of maybe moving to developer advocacy, maybe
yeah,
finding
I remember
another
that. Yeah.
job, right? Um, so for a long time, I have been creating blog posts and conference talks on educational resources. Like I would give my first blog post was actually on promises, and I really loved it because I did not understand promise at the time. So I like took some time to really understand it and then put it in a blog post. And that kind of
Okay.
reward of learning something yourself and then sharing it with the world and then having it click for somebody is such a beautiful like process, and I really enjoyed that kind of process of teaching people, educating people, helping people. I
Hmm.
think that's kind of where it started. And so I was working in traditional software engineering after that for a long time, and something that I kept feeling was I was working these like two jobs. So I was working software engineering 9 to 5, and then after that I would work on my conference talks or my blog post or something else related to content creation. So I was already
Okay.
doing the job of content creation in the evening, but now I just had two jobs. And more
Okay.
and more as I progressed in this, I was finding that it was really hard to keep up with content creation. And my like two lives did not coincide. I felt like I was like this enterprise person in the morning and I was building like shipping software, but in the evening I was really trying to do what I was passionate about. And I
Yeah.
think that like mental conflict in my mind, I always was inclined towards the content creation part, right? So I actually tried getting a developer advocacy job for a few times. I even had an offer in hand, And I don't know, something inside me was like, no, I don't want to do developer advocacy, because that is the closest to content creation in the enterprise world, right? So I felt like I didn't want to do content developer advocacy, because then I would be too far away from the technical side of things. And I also want to
Hmm.
work, if I'm doing content creation, then I want to work on something that I want to do, something that I want to teach.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think it was kind of like that conflict in mind, that led to a lot of burnout as well towards the end, where I was just conflicted in my head. Like, I wanted to do something else and I was getting paid for something else. So at one point, I felt like if I don't take a step right now, I will always be in this battle in my head the whole time. And so I was like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to do content creation. I'm going to test it out for 6 months. If I don't succeed, I'll find another job. Maybe I'll give myself like a little bit more time, a little bit more grace period. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'll go back to traditional software engineering. And I quit my job in April, and it's been September. So I guess technically 6 months not over, but I'm loving it.
No, that's great. No, that's super cool. Yeah, it's a big leap to do, but it's cool that you did it. And I've noticed your YouTube channel has definitely grown. It's something I'm working on too. Like, I mean, I was full-time engineering before and just live streaming. I typically I've never done any polished YouTube videos. It's always typically like I'll pull shorts or like out of like live streams like this and stuff.
Mm,
But I've found my growth somewhat slower. Like I haven't cracked like 1,000 people yet on YouTube, but I have like bigger platforms elsewhere. But
mm,
I guess it just takes time. I mean, I guess we can talk about this because we're talking about content creation, but like one thing I've noticed in general with content creation is just consistency. Um, like I know not everybody reads all my blog posts or watches the live streams all the time, but typically whenever and this has helped like work wise at least, like my current job where I'm at, where I'm a developer advocate, they reached out because they said like we see you're doing stuff all the time. They didn't say like I watched all these videos, but they
mm.
just see this constant, flow of content, I guess. So
Yeah.
I get yeah. And also, hey, Nixia618 over on Twitch. Good to see you. Yeah, I guess what's been your experience? Because like you were obviously full-time engineering, like you said, it kind of became two jobs, really.
Hmm.
Like you were saying. So, but I guess that's because you were being pretty consistent as well, I imagine.
Yeah, I think my biggest time was going in conference talks, because I was doing I still am doing a lot of conference talks. But while working, I was doing like at least 2 to 3 conference talks a quarter.
Okay.
And everything that I was giving in my conference talks was not related to the work that I was doing at work. So it became something that I had to do on the side in the evenings. And like conference talks take so much time, so much effort, so much energy. So that was a big chunk of my time. And then I was also writing blog posts as well. So I think in terms of consistency, I would say I wasn't as consistent as I am today, of course, because now it's my full time job. But I was still trying to post like something in 1 to 2 weeks, whether it was a live stream, whether it was going on somebody's podcast, whether I was giving a conference talk, or whether I was writing a blog post. So that took a lot of time.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. And there's a question in the chat. It's kind of open ended, but what are you finding that works or doesn't work in terms of content, and any interesting trends you've noticed? Yeah, it's kind of open ended, but
Yeah.
yeah, curious about your thoughts.
I think what I'm finding that works is, like you said, consistency. There is honestly literally no other success secret to being successful on YouTube or any other
Hmm.
platform. It's just keep showing up, keep putting content out there. If your early content is gonna suck, and that's fine. People expect that. Like when you're just growing, it's not gonna be as good as when you have like 100K. And that's the point.
Hmm.
Like it's all about the journey to get there. But as long as you keep showing up, you're gonna improve. You're gonna One of your videos is gonna get viral. And when people find the content that you're putting helpful, they're gonna come and watch more. So it's a matter of just showing up every day, and um, just making sure that you are not looking at analytics and getting bogged down, but rather just think of it as a process. So just keep posting content. It's basically about the last man standing. You gotta be the person who keeps showing up and gotta keep showing up in people's feed. So keep showing up. That's number one secret. Interesting trends. Um, I think one thing that I've noticed is that when any new tech shows up, like for example React 19 or GPT-5, that is always a really big hit. Um,
Hmm.
I posted React 19 video back in February or March, whenever the announcement went out, and I still get people watching that video all the time. That's still one of my most popular videos. So the latest
Okay.
tech is always the hottest gonna like the hottest trend on YouTube. So if you're thinking of making content, make something that is about the latest stuff because people love watching other videos on like newest topics.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense, like something just comes out, you kind of you have to be able to move fast to talk about it. Not that there's anything wrong with talking about React 19 6 months later,
Yeah.
because people probably still are, but yeah, I kind of get that. Like at
Hmm.
work, because I do videos for work too, and like have like just live streams with guests too, and Chat GPT. I've been doing a lot of stuff with MCPs because we're in a nutshell, we're security software. It's like more of a infrastructure kind of software piece, but we fit really well with model context protocol. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in there. And I just did a recording with my coworker this morning because ChatGPT released something called dev mode yesterday. So now you can bring your own custom MCPs. So we like, we're gonna put that out. Something's gonna go out on Reddit probably today, and then like the video shorts will start popping up probably maybe tomorrow, definitely early next week. So
Nice.
it does make sense. That said, it is hard to stay on top of everything, but I guess if once you go full time on content, it's maybe not as difficult. Like I know as a dev, I used to try and keep on top of literally everything.
Mm.
And then at one point, I just kind of like put up my white flag and surrendered. And I was just like, I'm still following stuff, but it's,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of stuff like I won't jump in and start building something with it immediately, just for time reasons.
Yeah.
But still keeping abreast of what's going on. But there's a lot out there to
Yeah.
consume.
Oh my
So
God. And even as a full-time content creator, you do not have time to explore everything that you want to explore. So it's a matter of picking the right stuff, or not the right stuff, I would say. It's a matter of picking something that you feel most passionate about.
mhm. Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, that's a good segue, which you didn't do intentionally, but you're obviously a big fan of React. I mean, I know you, even before we met at Remix Conf, you were big into React. You were on, I can't remember what the committee was called, not the steering committee, but for React 18.
Yeah.
So you were part of that. So like you've obviously been, and when you worked at Slack, you were working on the front end as well. So like
Mhm.
obviously deep roots in front end and React. And so, like, I guess is that mainly what you're obviously focusing on JavaScript too, because I
Mhm.
typically see, I typically watch most of your shorts. Like you said, I've seen the promises one. I think yesterday you released the one about ifs. There's
Mhm.
a lot of stuff out there, and uh, it's making me think like I'm aware of all these things because I've used all these things. 'Cause I've been a developer for a long time,
Yeah.
but I think it's still good to talk about these things, right? Because like
Yeah.
somebody's not going to know it exists, right?
Yeah.
Like ifs, I feel like if somebody new was starting in web dev, even JavaScript, they'd probably have no idea what that is.
Yeah. And
So
Iffy, I feel like is like one of those things which you rarely encounter in code that you're writing or reading, but
mhm,
they come up in interviews all the time. For some reason, interviewers love to pick up stuff that is super tricky and may not be as used. So that's one of the reason I wanted to show Iffys. Also, they're very interesting because they execute right away and the scope is weird. Um,
mhm,
so yeah. Some of those yeah, so I think your question was like, are you focusing on React or JavaScript, or like what is kind of your focus? um
yeah,
I think when I was building, so React has been my primary focus. And as I was building React tutorials, I noticed people were asking a lot about JavaScript basics and
Hmm.
like backend basics. So people want to see not just like the stuff that I'm talking about, but also the surrounding stuff around it. So that kind of
Yeah.
led to the whole like JavaScript interview series, the JavaScript fundamental series, which, by the way, if people are not aware, I have done 31 days of JavaScript fundamentals where every day I pick new topic and then I talk about
Yeah.
it for like 30 seconds. It's a really quick, like these are ifs, tell me what's wrong with this, and then this is the answer. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like very quick, like short bites. Um, so yeah, I think I've been noticing that people are asking for a lot more like surrounding stuff around it, the ecosystem stuff around it. Like for example, right now the big ask on my channel is make a crash course or make like a full video on building with React. So that's what's coming up next. People have been
Okay.
asking about like Tan Stacks ecosystem. So that's what's coming up next. So a lot of it is
Hmm.
driven by what people want to see as well.
Yeah, I know that makes sense. And it's the other thing too. This is something like because people ask me all the time. Like when people say you got to learn the fundamentals, or I definitely agree you do. But I'm more of the camp like I think you should just build something, and
Yeah.
like because like say for example I don't know, maybe I went to a boot camp and I learned some React. So like I kind of know React, so I can build things. But
Mhm.
at some point you're gonna run into like, oh, I have no idea, what the array map is, or like I know it's in React, but you don't aren't aware that that's actually a JavaScript thing, and then you
Yeah.
kind of go into digging into some fundamentals, and then maybe you go back to React. But like I think at the end of the day, you're gonna end up learning the fundamentals or the
Yeah.
framework, but I think it's better to just build and learn, and then
Yeah.
like and I'm not saying that to be like it depends or being vague and diplomatic. It's just I think it's just better to build stuff and learn what's breaking or how things work. So
Totally. Yeah. I think you learn the most when you build something and you realize, well, what else do I need to add to this? Or like something is breaking, how do I fix this? I think that's the best learning method.
yeah, no, for sure. And so you said you got like the course coming in, like so right now, like your YouTube is like obviously your main focus, I would say,
Mhm.
just from observing.
Yeah.
But but you obviously create the shorts. I see them on TikTok as well. So like there's that. But then the course, is that related to? Because I know you have a Discord community. I'll get the link to that. I don't have it at the moment. But is the course within the Discord community, or is this something you're just going to publish on YouTube, or I guess how's that going to play out?
Yeah, it's going to be a completely free course on YouTube. So it's going to be like a 3 to 4 hour long video,
Oh, okay.
completely like free. It's going to go on YouTube. And the idea is that at the end of the course, you'll have something tangible built, and we're going to build Netflix. So I'm going to give people exercises as well. So, like, for example, you build infinite scrolling, and then the next feature is you build horizontal infinite scrolling. How are you going to do that?
Mhm.
So the idea is that we build as we go and we learn topics as we go. And then at the end of it, you will have something that you have made and hopefully ideas on how to expand it further.
Okay, cool. And so like for that particular course, are you like, there's like window and like scroll virtualization. Are you gonna teach how to do that, or is it gonna be more like just bring in a library for that? Or I'm just kind of curious on the focus.
Yeah, I try to keep libraries at a minimum as much as I can. So for this is going to be intersection observer. It's just going to be
Okay.
infinite scrolling, and we're going to use Tanstack query to like keep getting data in. But
Mhm.
it's going to be all within React and the
Okay.
like basic web APIs as we can use. I try to not use external libraries because I want people to understand the topic without having to
Mhm.
depend on a library.
Yeah, no, that makes sense in terms of like learning and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned like intersection observer, because like the web has evolved a lot, like even since like 2020, like css, there's so many things that have changed. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know what version css is anymore. But like there's always new stuff coming out, and obviously like even in javascript things have improved, and it's good that you're saying, hey, let's use intersection observer or whatever, because I think a lot of times there's stuff like you used to have to use JavaScript to do, like even stuff like uh I don't know, like scrolling to snap or stuff like
Mm,
there's all these things
yeah,
or like or like even having like a detailed summary, like accordion things, like those things are all native now. Like you don't
yeah,
need to use like it doesn't have to be some React component. I mean, obviously you build it in React, but I guess my point is the web has evolved a lot, so it's kind of cool that you're showing like this is we're gonna how we're gonna build it. So it's not just it doesn't always have to be React. You can always be leaning into the actual web platform, you know. So
yeah.
um,
And typically the websites that or like the web apps that we build are kind of an intersection of React and the web APIs as well. So I think it's important to know like what's going on in JavaScript world as well, and
mhm.
not having to rely on other libraries just to like build a feature.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I got just questions popping into my head here, but I know you've done TypeScript. I'm a big fan of it. I've been using TypeScript forever. In terms of these like f- I guess is more just a general educator question these days is what's your approach to learning JavaScript? Because like, would you say like just use TypeScript
Hmm.
just to because obviously it's not the same thing. It's a superset, but
Yeah,
almost every job is. I would say most modern front end and even back end Node.js stacks are probably in TypeScript now,
yeah,
or at least migrating to them. So
yeah.
curious, like how you plan to fit that in, or if you're just going all in on TypeScript.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I get this question a lot, like, is it going to be TypeScript? So I always start off with JavaScript. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that's kind of like our three main tool sets as a web developer today and tomorrow, right? So that's the
Yeah.
main thing that you want to focus on. But then TypeScript, there's a reason why people are adopting TypeScript and making everything as a default TypeScript. So in the course, I'm
Hmm.
going to start off with a JSX and a TSX, and a JSX and a JS file. And then I'm going to tell
Yeah.
people why you have to use TypeScript and what is the thing that we are seeing with JavaScript, because of which TypeScript is super helpful. And some of the things are going to be like type checking, some of the things are going to be like null checking. So those things TypeScript can take care of for you automatically, which is why we use TypeScript in
Yeah.
work anyway. Another reason is if you're going to be working with other people, you're creating a component that other people are going to use. TypeScript enforces types and make sure that all of the parameters are passed in. So as a developer, you don't have to worry about like missing parameters. And that is
Yeah.
why TypeScript is so popular. So I start off with like the basic stuff and then include other stuff in to help people understand why we need this new stuff that we're adding in.
Okay.
And it's the same approach with like libraries like Tanstack Query as well, or
Hmm.
Next.js even. So you start off with the React project, and then once you encounter a problem, that's when you talk about, well, this is why we're having this problem, and this is why we need, and this is why Next.js and Tanstack Start are so popular.
Yeah. No, totally. And yeah, I've definitely seen because I used to work on the frameworks team at Netlify, so just very aware of a lot of frameworks, and I still follow along, even though that's not my day job. And there's definitely TypeScript is pretty much the standard way of most of these templates now, and
Yeah,
like Tanstack router went fully type safe.
yeah.
I saw I don't know if it's in Next.js yet, but I know they've been working on a type safe router. I
I think
think
15.5 is now type
yeah,
safe.
okay. Yeah, and Remix is like literally just redoing Remix completely.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it's gonna be at the end of the day, if it's just gonna
remix.
be yeah, jQuery and just HTML, I'm not sure. Uh, but yeah. Um, but you were mentioning speaking before, and like we both given lots of talks at this point, I guess. And this is something I hear people ask about all the time is like, how do I get into speaking? Or, like,
Mm.
because I remember, like, well, for me initially, like, I thought I had to submit a brand new talk to every conference I was submitting to,
Yeah,
which sounds ridiculous now, but like at the time, I was like, I think that's what I need to do,
yeah.
and it's a lot
Prove
of
your
work.
worth.
Yeah, but I found it hard to I did some online ones initially, but then I finally got my first like in-person one and I was really excited about that. But it took a while to get the in-person one accepted, but once
Mm.
I got in, it's like I don't know if it's just the hard work paid off, but like now it like more and more in-person stuff is it's just been, I don't want to say easier, but like I've had a lot more talks accepted that are in person. So
Yeah.
I guess yeah, curious about your, I guess your advice on getting into speaking.
Yeah, I think you followed the advice like pretty concisely. I mean, not that I gave you advice, but that's typically how I suggest people get started with speaking as well, which is giving an online talk. Even before an online talk, I actually suggest people write a blog post or make a video, something to
Hmm.
kind of prove that you can share, you have public speaking capabilities, and that you can actually get your point across. I think writing a blog post is a great way. That's actually how I got started with public speaking. But speaking at a local meetup or even an online meetup is a great way. I think basically when you're applying for a talk, they kind of want to see, especially if it's a big conference, that if you've done public speaking before, if you've given a conference talk before. Um,
Hmm.
and so, like you said, like once you get one opportunity, that kind of snowballs into another, which then like keeps growing. And I have the same experience as well. I applied to one conference talk in my entire
Okay.
life so far. And that was the first conference, like the big conference that I applied to, which was Apollo's GraphQL Summit. And after that, I've been just getting opportunities reach out, like people have been just reaching out to me. So opportunities have just landed in my inbox. And I'm very lucky that way. But a lot of times I've noticed that when people are applying for conferences, their CFPs don't get accepted. I think one of the best ways to kind of go past that is actually maybe submit more topics. So instead of
Yeah.
submitting just one topic, think about like what other topics that you can talk about. And to think of topics, you can actually look at either the current speaker lineup right now and see what they are talking about to give and you an idea of what is something that is in the top on top of mind for organizers, or take a look
Hmm.
at last year's conference talks. Some of the popular conference talks always are the bleeding edge tech at the time, always a popular talk. Another one is use cases. So, for example, you went from Next.js to TanStack or vice
Okay.
versa. So that is a good use case to talk about. People love hearing about use cases. And AI is always popular. Accessibility is another one, which not a lot of conference um, organize, or like not a lot of talks are there, but that is also a really great topic. And then there always usually is a kind of soft skill talk, which honestly I love. So take a look at
Hmm.
what is currently accepted and then maybe submit something from there. Um, I would say get started, like if you have never spoken in public, get started with the local meetup, because the number of people are small, people are very inclusive, people are very encouraging, people are super nice in meetups, especially the smaller ones. I've given talks at meetups where there were like 10 people and it was honestly the best experience. So get started with something that you already know at a very small meetup and then apply to a bigger conference.
Okay. Yeah. Also, just wanted to say hi to Roxy and Terry over on LinkedIn. I this is the one thing with live streaming on multiple platforms. You can't, like, I can't post messages from, like, I use my stream deck to post to like YouTube and Twitch, but you can't post to like Twitter or LinkedIn. So I just checked over there and I was like, oh, people are talking over there. Um,
Um,
uh, but yeah, I
Hi,
want to say to
Bhakti.
I want to say shout out to both Terry and Roxy, but Roxy got, I'm not, I think it's her first tech conference talk. Uh, she'll be speaking this year. I can't remember where you're giving it again, Roxy. So feel free to drop it in the chat. But yeah, it's also, I found it a little nerve wracking doing my first well, I mean, I still get nervous before giving a talk, not because I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think it's just, it's
The
probably
nerves.
healthy maybe to have
Yeah,
jitters and stuff.
yeah.
And it was just it was just funny because my my second live in-person talk was at Netlify Compose, and I gave the talk and I thought I did terrible, and I was so hot and I thought I was sweating, and then when I got off the stage, I found out that it was the lights above me. It was like a French fry light, and it was actually making me hot, so it
Oh
wasn't
my
me
god.
sweating from being nervous, it was that, so, like and then yeah, like I said, I felt like I was like, "Ah, this didn't go that well," and then I had, like, a ton of people after saying, "Oh, I love the talk," so it's like it was just a weird feeling because I got off and I'm like, "I don't think that was that good," and then
Yeah.
people are like, "I loved it," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Oh man, I've had that happen to me as well, where I got off the stage and I was like, and then people were like, "I love that talk. I finally understood this topic," and I was like, "Seriously? Okay, yeah."
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, and so you've given a lot of talks. Obviously, you've also done some keynotes. I'm pretty sure, like, well, and you also emceed and stuff. I guess this is more like further on, but like, how do you find like how did you land like your first keynote or MC? Like, I'm assuming it's because you had to give a bunch of talks first, but like, how
Yeah.
does that usually pan out, or maybe pan out?
So, I think like I've been lucky enough that I have had opportunities reach out to me. So MC was actually Remix Con was my first MC opportunity, and
Okay,
I really wanted to come to Remix, but I was thinking of what topic I would speak on because I am not very like I have not worked with Remix, so I was thinking of what topic I would speak on, and then Michael actually reached out and wanted me to be an MC. And I was like, heck yeah, like that would be awesome.
yeah,
Get to introduce people and like have fun. And then on the stage, we actually dance. Like, heck yeah, I want to
yeah.
do that. That's really fun. So, I think yeah, like I didn't apply. Was approached, and then I also emceed another conference, which I'm totally forgetting which one it was. Uh,
Okay. I feel it was definitely a React, maybe like React Summit or something. I don't know, but
Damn, I'm
well,
totally forgetting. Or maybe I did not MC after that. I don't know. Maybe it was just my imagination.
well, all I remember is aside from the dancing is you were doing all your dad jokes.
Yes, dev jokes.
So oh, dev jokes, not dad jokes. Sorry. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no
yeah.
bad jokes, dev jokes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, that made me crack up. Even the ones that are groaners, it still just makes you laugh.
I know.
So
Sometimes I love those poor jokes. I'm like, haha, I'm here. I can crack any stupid joke I want. Within reason,
no,
of
totally.
course.
Yeah. Um, I guess not on the serious side, but because you've gone full content creation, are you like obviously I'm assuming you want to make money off it, or maybe you already are, or like you're probably in a position where you probably gave yourself some, buffer to get started, I'm assuming, or
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Um yeah, I guess obviously you want to make it a full-time job, like in terms of paying, and like how have you
yeah.
been finding it so far? Like obviously you're still, I mean, your channel's a lot bigger now.
Hmm.
You're definitely growing your community and your followers.
Yeah.
I guess how have you been finding, I'm not I mean, I don't mean show me numbers, that's not what I mean,
I
but
could choose
uh
numbers.
here's a five. Yes. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess how have you been finding it, I guess, is what
Yeah.
I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think like first thing that I would say to anybody who's thinking of like leaving their 9 to 5 and going full time into content creation is it's not gonna make money for a while. So make sure you have like enough buffer to help you survive for the next 6 months to 1 year. That's the kind of buffer that I operate with. If you don't have that kind of money in bank account, maybe do
Mhm.
content creation as a part-time thing with your 9 to 5 job so you can build up that buffer. So that's the
Yeah.
number one thing I would say because it's not going to make money in the beginning. I think when I was just starting out back, so I actually made my first YouTube video in August, which is not even when I started my channel or like which is when I became full time content creator. But I became a full time content creator in December last year, and I quit my job in
Okay.
April. So I took that much time to like figure out if this would work, and then I like put in my notice, and that's when I left. So between December to April, my channel grew slowly, but it gave me enough confidence to know that this could be a full time thing. Um,
Okay.
So in the beginning, I didn't make any money. Now, on thankfully, I'm better. I can make some money, but it's still not as good as my full time jobs, to be very honest.
Mhm.
And that's, as a content creator, that's just what your life is going to be in the beginning, especially in the first 2 years. Don't expect to make as much as your 9 to 5 job, especially if you're coming from like a tech world where like 9 to 5 jobs pay a lot. So don't expect to make as much, but it's going to grow. I think when I hit the 10K mark, that's when I started to see like companies reach out to me, sponsors
Mhm.
lining up. So now I'm in a much better space where thankfully I have sponsors who want to work with me and they reach out to me. So again, the same thing, as you keep showing up, people are going to start noticing, companies are going to notice, and they're going to know that you're a person who shows up consistently, so they would want to invest in you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It makes sense. Um, yeah, and Roxy in the chat saying, "Sounds like you took the right steps with the transition. You know, not just. I guess you could have impulsively just said, "I quit," and then just like, "Let's do YouTube," and maybe it
I
would have worked
wanted
out
to.
that way too.
I wanted to, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, no, it's wild. I I'm still very much enjoying, not that you don't enjoy engineering, but I still enjoy having a role. Like I do enjoy like live streaming. It's one of my favorite things during the week because I get to just hang with people that I don't normally have time to hang with.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm still kind of attached to like the role. I like what I'm doing right now. Like maybe that'll
yeah,
change in the future,
yeah,
but it's yeah, it definitely changes how much content I create. To your point of you were doing like kind of two full-time jobs at one point because of that.
yeah,
So like that's why like for the most part I do the live streaming because it's for me I've got a lot of stuff automated and it's very low stakes for me in terms of
mm,
like time wise, so like I mean obviously I find the guests and like I have some kind of plan of what we're going to discuss obviously, but it's like
yeah,
after that it's like that's pretty much all I need to do, and then then I'll create clips and stuff, but I do
yeah,
want to get into doing some YouTube content, like not just live streaming. And I'm just curious, like for yourself, like obviously, like everybody kind of has. I'm generalizing, but a lot of people have TikTok brain these days. So it's just
mm,
like, oh, this is longer than 2 minutes. I'm out. Like, um. So how are you finding that balance? Because like obviously, for example, like your React course, that's going to be like 4 hours.
yeah,
Uh, I guess. I I'm remembering Jack Harrington. He mentioned it on socials, but he had this whole like I enjoyed the video, but it was like about 20 minutes long. It was a deep dive into the React compiler,
yeah, yeah. I
and
watched that
and
video.
I yeah, and I found it was really good, and I found it interesting. And then he was saying kind of on socials like the numbers didn't really do well, and
Mm,
maybe that's because it was too long. I don't know the reasons, but
mm,
like I guess is that something you think about in terms of content? Like obviously a course is a little different, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
curious about that.
Yeah, I think that is such a like interesting like question, and that's something that I think about all the time, especially when getting started. Because I think I was in this mindset that whatever I post on YouTube long form is gonna do well as a short clip, and then people are gonna watch it on
Hmm.
TikTok, and I couldn't be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be more wrong because people who are watching Instagram Reels and TikTok, they're just looking for like a 30-second quick boost, quick hit, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Totally.
and those people don't want to watch like a they don't want to watch like my deep dive into React rendering process in a 30-second short. If I put that on TikTok or YouTube
Hmm.
shorts and Instagram Reels, it's not going to do well. What does well on Instagram Reels or TikTok is entertainment, or like a 30-second quick hit, like,
Yeah.
why is this question wrong, tell me, and then that's it, right? So that's why those reels are doing well. So I think first thing that I was doing wrong, and I feel like still a lot of creators are, is uh, like repurposing long form content into short form. And one of the creators actually I watched was telling me that people on short form content like Reels and TikTok, they're actually on a high speed train. So imagine
Okay.
giving somebody who's on a high speed train a video that is meant for like people who are in a car. So these
Okay.
high speed train people are going much faster than people who are going in a car. So you don't want to like mix those two. So that's number one. Now the thing about
Mhm.
YouTube is that if a really big video drops, people may not leave everything they are doing to actually watch that video. They're going to bookmark it and they're going to come back to it later. Like with
Yeah.
Jack's React compiler video, I watched that video like maybe 3 months after it was released. Like I remember he released this video and it was in my mind, it was bookmarked and everything, but I watched it super late. And sometimes like
Mhm.
YouTube videos can be that way. With my React crash course, I know people are not going to watch the whole thing in one sitting, but at least people will get notified. I have a list of like people who have also signed up to get notified for that course. So I know that people will know that this video has dropped. So sometimes like
Mhm.
really long videos can be that way. With my promises video, I've noticed the same thing. The first day I released that video, I think in the whole day I got like 300 views on that video. And I was like, oh
Okay.
my God, I put so much effort into this video. Like I bought special equipment for this video and it only got 300 views. Why am I still making videos? And then 2 weeks later, that video now has like 4,000 views, which is really good
Okay.
for my channel. So sometimes videos take time, like especially long form videos, they will take time because people are approaching them more slowly.
Mm. Yeah, no, that makes sense, and, I'll be honest, I bookmark a lot of stuff too, and it's it depends on the time of day, like you said, like, I mean, I work all day, like, I take, like, a break at lunch, and stuff, and, like, maybe I'll watch some shorts then, but, like, when if it's late in the evening, I'm not gonna hunker down to watch,
Yeah.
like, maybe even I'd say I'd probably cap it at maybe 10 minutes, but even then, like, my brain at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't wanna think too deeply right now, so
Yeah,
it's
totally. And you like you're not alone in that. Like most people feel that way in the end at the end of the day, they just want like quick entertainment. They don't even want to learn even anything. Like even JavaScript interview questions, I've noticed that they don't do well at the late in the night. People just want to
Mm,
get entertained. They just want to take off the load. So I think that's also
yeah.
like about human behavior and how people use TikTok and Instagram Reels versus long form videos like YouTube.
Yeah, totally. And there's there's a lot of going on in the chat here, but Roxy, who's a content creator, she says, and then where is it? She said, if you start getting haters, you know you've made it. What else? I'm losing. There's too much chat now, but yeah, Jason Torres from Torque is here and saying what good content takes time, and then. What else here? 2 weeks later, seems like LinkedIn got a hold of your YouTube video. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the chat I shared or
I
anything,
can,
but
yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. No, thanks for all the comments, everybody. Yeah, I th- I th- I think you've been really persistent too, like because I've seen you post stuff for a while. You've done like I was actually on your we did our live stream. I think it
Yeah,
was like maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a year. I
yeah.
think it was about a year and a half ago. But then I was on one of your fireside chats. You were doing those fireside chats, and you still do because, like we mentioned at the beginning, you were just recently talking with Jack Harrington. If folks
Mhm,
haven't seen that one, it's a really great conversation.
mhm.
Um, so like it's not like you just came out of nowhere. Like yes, you've upped it because you're obviously gone
Yeah.
full time now, but it's like I like I honestly do think like it when I think of React, you are one of the people I think of. You know
Oh,
what I
thank
mean?
you.
So like obviously there's the React core team, but
Yeah,
like when
good
I
to
think of
people.
content that's React, it's like I typically think of like Jack Harrington or yourself or like the tan stack people too obviously, but they're not just React. But
Yeah.
so it's I think you've kind of established yourself in that sense, like obviously tech is big, but
Mm.
and the world's big, but let's see, I'm just seeing what other
Thanks, Nick.
is there
That's
another
very
question?
sweet.
Ah, oh, no worries, no worries. Okay, let's talk a little fun here. I've seen you post it. I've met you at Remix Conf in person, but you did not have chai with you. Um,
Mm.
so apparently you have like the best chai in the world, and
Mhm.
I'm curious what makes a good chai. Like I've had chai in tea bags. I've had it.
Yeah.
at like Starbucks, which is like
No.
it's okay, but
No, that's
what
bad.
yeah, so like I guess what makes a good chai? I know it's like spicy spiced tea, but
Yeah.
what makes yours pop? Like what makes somebody say, "I'm getting on a plane to go to Shruti's house right now,
Ooh.
uh, because I need that chai." Like, get that chai in my veins. So what's the secret?
It's spiked with something special. uh, yeah, I love that question. Huh, Chai question. I love chai questions. And also, I noticed Jason is in chat. Hey, Jason. He's also coming on chai with me next week.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, Cascadia JS, you're gonna be there?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, that's cool.
uh,
Um,
what makes a good chai? I think, okay, so there are I'll talk about the recipe. So you all can make a
okay,
really great cup of chai for yourself. So the first thing you want to do with chai is you want to the proportion of milk to water is very important, and for a lot of people that is kind of like the make or break situation, like number one for
okay.
them. For me, I like my chai strong, just like my coffee. So I go
Mhm.
with like 1 cup of milk, sorry, 1 cup of water and 3/4 cup of milk. So that's the proportion you want
Okay,
to keep. 1:3/4. Some people like if you want more strong, then you want to reduce the amount of milk you put in it. Um,
okay, gotcha.
so with milk,
And the
you want, yeah, go ahead.
no, no, sorry, go ahead. I was reading something in the chat, sorry, go ahead.
So with milk, you want to start, sorry, with water, you want to start off by adding spices in it, and you can add anything you want. You can also skip spices. Some people like it like completely plain, which is totally fine. The spices I add is cloves, ginger, cardamom, and sometimes I'll add a little bit of black pepper, and sometimes
Oh,
I'll add a
nice.
little bit of fennel seeds. You don't want to add everything because then it just becomes masala. You don't want that.
Okay. You don't wanna drink masala?
No. uh, well, some people like it. I don't like it. So you want to?
Okay.
I would do like 3 spices max. So ginger,
Okay,
cardamom, and something nice. Uh, So typically I'll do cloves because that gives a really good kick. That gives a really good
okay.
spice. Um,
Yeah,
so you want to boil them and make sure that your water actually absorbs all the flavor. That's where all the flavor of chai is going to come from. So you boil it
okay,
for like a minute or two until you can smell the fragrance, especially with ginger. It smells really good. And after that, you want to turn it down and then you want to add milk and you want to bring milk to a boil. So it takes about another like 5 minutes to bring milk to boil, like
okay,
milk and water combination. At that point, your chai base is ready. Once the base is ready, once the milk is boiled, then you want to turn the flame all the way down or whatever like electric thing you're using all the way down, and then you want
yeah,
to add your tea leaves, which depending on how strong you want, I like to add for 1 cup. I'll add like 1 teaspoon of tea leaves.
okay,
Um, if you're using tea bags, then I like to like cut them open and then put them as powder
okay,
instead of like a tea bag because it blends really well with milk. Otherwise, tea
okay,
bags, they are just weird. Um,
okay, yeah. And I don't know if you have a name for your amazing chai, but Roxy in the chat says it's a dirty chai. Maybe just call it just call it the dirty chai. Oh, hey, Henry Helvetica is in the chat too. Hey,
Hi,
Ari, good
Henry.
to see you.
Andre, actually. Is there a CLI for this? Make chai. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, make chai. Oh, damn. That would be nice.
yeah. There we go. That could be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recipe, I don't know, throw in some agentic process in there and chai chai PT. I don't know. Can you say
And
that
chai
or?
already has AI in it. I learned that yesterday.
There we go. Yeah, it's true. You can't spell chai without AI. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
saw a
awesome.
reel yesterday where this manager was like, "Oh, you should all stop drinking coffee. We should all drink chai because chai has AI." Ha ha ha
That's-
ha. I found that
Oh, that's
funny.
awesome. I don't know. I feel like you'll have some video content out of this from the ideas in the chat. So, but yeah, yeah. Roxy was also saying like black pepper. So that's uh, it's a bold move. Um,
A very it's very spicy. So it's for the days when it's like raining and you want a nice kick in the morning. I add like
mhm,
one or two, and you like crush it and then add it. But it's very spicy in chai, so you want to be careful with it.
okay, gotcha, gotcha. Cool. Well, I know we're almost at time here, Shruti. I know because you have a hard stop at in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead again and drop your YouTube channel, and I have the Discord server if folks want to join over there too. That's the. Is it still the Tech Hustlers? Is that the name of it? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, tech
Yeah.
hustlers, because we hustling.
Yeah. So definitely check both those out. Yeah, really appreciate you taking the time, Shruti. I know you got a lot on the go, so and it's always great hanging, even though we haven't hung out a ton. I've appreciated every time we get to hang. And yeah, for everybody in the chat, thanks for all the questions and the trash talking. And maybe I'll go make a dirty chai later. Um, and for everybody else, I'll drop the schedule, but definitely got some more folks coming on in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna be traveling to. Are you going to any conferences soon? Like I'm going to. Are you going to commit your code? I can't remember.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You're going to Cascadia JS though next week, right?
Mhm.
Is it next week?
Next
Yeah.
week, yes, next Wednesday. Then I'm speaking at ReactConf on October 6th, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the date. Then I'm going to All Things Open. Um,
Yeah. I'll see
I
you
think,
there, and
yeah, I'll
I
see you
think a
there.
lot of the people in the chat are going to be there. Jason Torres, Roxy's going to be there as well. So
Yes.
we'll have a good crew of people. So yeah, no, looking forward to that. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for the chat. And Shruti, if you don't mind just staying on for a second, and everybody else, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, folks.